It's basically vertical horizon up in here. I'm getting frostbite. It's time to talk about some cold, frosty comic books. Another month, another list of the coldest comic books in the comic book marketplace, and I'm at the table virtually, broadcasting from somewhere on Spaceship Earth with David from Comic Book Investments. What does it mean when comics start to fall in price, my brother?
So it usually means when comics are on this cold list that they're dropping in value from their previous highs, that they're on the decline. Now, does that mean that they continue to go on the decline? Don't know. Does that mean they've kind of leveled out and now is a good opportunity to buy? Don't know. We're going to dive into each of those scenarios when we talk about these lists.
Slap the like button, hit the subscribe button, do yourself a favor, go to the description and follow David here on YouTube, Comic Book Investments. You cover stuff like this every single week, keeping the comic book community up on the drops so that they could potentially score long-term. At the list at number 10, we're talking Marvel Superheroes, issue number 12, debuting in 1967. We have the first Captain Marvel making the list.
Yes, a 5.0 is down 41% from $170 to now to selling for $100. A 6.0 is down 54% from $390 to now selling for only $180. And then the 7.0 is down 41% from $360 to now selling for $210.
Considering that Marvel, the first appearance that's found in this issue, made an appearance as a female in the Captain Marvel movie and also passed away, this spec is mostly because of name only, key significance, possibly flashback keyworthiness, but of all things, probably just at best, variants and timeline multiverse type of character reprisals. This book is on the decline, but it's a great key nonetheless.
Another reason why this book might have spiked recently was because we saw Captain Marvel in Doctor Strange 2 as an alternate universe, multi-dimension thing. But it wasn't Captain Marvel, it was actually Maria Rambeau.
And now we're gonna go over to number 9 on the list, 80s tunes goodness, Thundercats number 1, debuting in 1985.
So back in March of last year, it was set to direct by Adam Wingard, who did King Kong versus Godzilla. There's been no news since. I think that it's actually kind of probably fallen by the wayside. And so that's why this book is on this list.
Considering the prices that the nostalgia cycle brought to the market last year, we saw not just this book hit all-time record highs, we saw the likes of TMNT, G.I. Joe, even Transformers hit all new records.
We have a 9.4 dropping by 65%. From 420 to 148. And then we have a 9.6 dropping by 79% from 1148 to 240.
Now we have a 9.8, which is absolutely stunning to see how much this dropped. Prices that exceeded $2,000. We have a GPA sale back in April of last year hitting $2,250, down 56%. This book right now can be purchased for around $1,000. I'm seeing sales in the $900 range.
At number 8, we have Avengers 47. Now, this obviously has been hit hard because of the whole Eternals debacle with it not being very successful at the box office. And this is the first appearance of Dane Whitman, not quite the Black Knight yet, and he's actually the third Black Knight.
This is also the first solo story of Hercules. There's been a lot of Hercules spec as it pertains to Thor, Love, and Thunder. Will we see Hercules? Well, we know that Gore the God Butcher has to butcher some gods, but also it's not just the gods that have been butchered, it's the prices. Look at this. We have an 8.5 back in May going for $515, hitting $203, now selling for a 61% decrease. A 7.5 going for $600 in just January is now going for $361. That's a decrease of 40%.
We also got a 9.0 going from $1,200 in May, now selling for $700. That is down 42%.
Now, what do you think, David? I mean, we're going to get Kit Harington again. This spec started in 2019 when we found out he was slated to portray the Black Knight, but we didn't see Kit Harington go full Black Knight in the Eternals movie, and it looks like they're setting up a Blade type of team up for them to battle the occult, the supernatural.
My speculation for this book is it will continue to drop. Why? Because we're not going to see Kit Harington play as Black Knight for at least a little while, a couple years. So it'll drop during that time, but then I think it'll bottom out, and that'll be a good time to buy because once they start releasing more news, I think it might jump up again.
This may be a good one to be watching, comic fam. Hit the like, slap the subscribe, and let's talk about number 7 on the list. All new Marvel now. Point 1. I always like to express that exclamation point that Marvel put on this book. And this book has dropped royally, and the show is about to debut.
It's the first full appearance of Kamala Khan as Miss Marvel in an interior story. And this book only had a 32,000 print run, which is kind of low, honestly.
What do you think this is? Is this like the trailer effect? I mean, I know a lot of people weren't as hyped about this book, but we're looking at numbers that have dropped royally.
I think the trailers come out and people got an idea of what this TV show is going to be, and maybe people just aren't as into it as people were hoping it would be. And so now they're kind of dumping their copies, and now there's a ton online, which then drives the price down.
If this show is a hit, we have now just seen an area of opportunity open up in the marketplace. This is why it's so important to be following the cold books as well. Look at the prices. A 9.4 going for $480 in May is down 57%, hitting $208.
And we got a 9.6 going for $800 in May to now selling for $260. That's down 68%.
Last year, this time in April, the book at 9.8 hit $2,000, and it's down 57% this month, now selling for $858. Comic fam, if you are looking for a place to press, to clean, to get restoration, I have the spot for you to send your comics. You can go to hrcomics.com or the link in the description to give your comics some love and make them their best selves. What they do is straight up alchemy. It's wizardry. Shout out Hogwarts because that's where you're sending your books. And at the list at number 6, David, what is going on? This has to be the 3rd time on the cold list that we're talking about a TMNT book.
It's very sad to see Turtles on this list because I love the Turtles, but then again, they're still on this list because they got the nostalgia boom, which was right before all the other comics got a huge increase in price. And now, since after hitting high highs, they've been slowly going down and down and down. Maybe they've hit the bottom, maybe not. Maybe they'll continue to drop.
We have TMNT number 4 from 1985. This right here is the last issue before they would make the comics comic book sized. So it's still really difficult to secure this book in high grade. It's a wraparound cover. It's fantastic, but it's not a key. And it hit heights that broke $2,000 at a 9.8, but oh, have the prices changed. It's about to get frosty.
We got a 9.4 selling from $484 to now $255, down 47%. A 9.6 down from $1,200 to $375, down 69%.
The 9.8 during the height of the comic boom in April 2021 hit $2,400. Now down 67%. Recent 9.8 sales are hitting $800. I have to know what the community thinks in the comment section below. Help your fellow members. Do any of these comics that are dropping in price make you want to speculate, make you want to invest now? Are they giving you any ideas of where you should put your investment dollars? Are there any other comics you can recommend? I'll remind you, it'll enter you to win this Omni-Man Whatnot variant of Invincible number 1. And at the list at number 5, one of my all-time favorite MacFarlane covers.
This iconic cover from Todd MacFarlane came out in 1988, and we are talking Hulk number 340.
Wolverine versus Hulk, not just on the cover, but on the interior as well. A classic book that doesn't come up often at a 9.8 newsstand, and the few sales I was able to check out on GPA hit $4,000. So I'm going to recommend you add a newsstand 9.8 to your eBay search list after we report on the drops of the direct edition.
We got a 9.4 selling for $570, now down to $275. That is down 52%.
Last year in April at a 9.6, this book was hitting $860, dropping 49%, selling for $440. Recent sale.
And then we got a 9.8 a year ago, selling for $2,400. Now selling for $1,650. That is down 31%.
Now, David, we just saw Professor X and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Logan's introduction to the MCU, the 616, is inevitable. How do you feel about this key comic?
Well, I'm seeing kind of a leveling off. I think it's already dropped to maybe its lowest point. So if you decided to jump in to get this book, I don't think it's going to drop much lower. I think it'll stay pretty level until we get some news on Wolverine, and then I think it'll go back up because I'm seeing some increases in Hulk 181, which is a good sign that eventually the rest of these tier books for Wolverine will follow.
It's kind of hard to believe that this book would drop below 1,500 at a 9.8. I would seriously be considering an investment on this book if you're looking to put money towards Wolverine keys. And also consider that newsstand. If the height of this book hit 2,400 with the newsstand at 9.8 hitting 4K, what's going to happen if a newsstand comes up and this book is hitting closer to $1,600? It may be the only time to secure that book when it comes up at a good price.
At number 4, we got Adam Legend of the Blue Marvel, number 1 from 2009. This is the first appearance of Blue Marvel, and there's an estimated only 17,000 copies sold to the retailers.
We've heard rumors and speculation since 2019 that we would see Blue Marvel in something, whether it was WandaVision or Falcon and Winter Soldier, and it didn't happen, and then it didn't happen again, and now the prices have dropped.
We got a 9.4 going from $800 to $686, down 14%. A 9.6 going from $1,643 to now selling for $700, that's down 57%.
A 9.8 hitting $2,600 is down 23%, selling for $2K. It may drop below that, especially when you consider the rumors that are circulating about John Boyega. We know that he's left Star Wars production, no longer going to portray Finn. Well, it looks like he is joining the MCU if rumors are correct. Now, he has gone on record to talk about his love, his passion for the character, the superhero Nova. However, is he going to play that cosmic character, or could he portray Blue Marvel? And that's the speculation. This book may be primed to secure now because it is at its all-time low since the book started creeping up because of Disney+.
At number 3, we got Sandman number 1 from 1989.
Neil Gaiman goodness, one of the best comics of all time, my personal favorites, and one of the most recommended books to any new reader. This right here is a comic that's going to be adapted to Netflix, and we haven't seen a trailer yet, but the set photos give me optimism that they're going to make it comic accurate. But whether it lands on Netflix is going to be key if this book, Sandman number 1, is going to increase in value, because right now it's at a lull.
Yeah, we got a 9.4 from $4.99 back in October, now selling for $2.99, down 40%. A 9.6 from $6.50, now selling for $3.75, down 42%.
The 9.8 going for $1,800 in August is down nearly half, selling for $9.10. That's a decrease of 49%. Hot damn, comic fam. However, this is one of the best books of all time. This is a horrendously put together book as far as paper quality. A 9.8 is a tough book. And if this book has spikes, this may be the lowest it'll ever be. And now we're moving on to number 2 on the list. Post Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, we were introduced to America Chavez, and I thought she did fantastic. However, the key book, her first appearance in Vengeance number 1, is making the cold list, debuting in 2011.
So we got the first appearance of America Chavez, and if you don't know, she was in Doctor Strange number 2, which premiered a couple weeks ago. Now, this book only had a print run of 26,000 copies. And it also had a 1 in 15 variant that is actually, will probably hold its value a lot better than the cover A of this book.
I like that analysis, David, because consider how low of a print that 1 in 15 Mike Deodato cover would be. A store would have to have ordered 15 copies of Vengeance 1 to unlock the ability to order just 1 copy of the 1 in 15. So that spec, I think, is good long term. But Vengeance number 1 has taken a hit.
We got a 9.4 selling for $570 at its peak, now currently selling for $300. That's down 47%. A 9.6 peaked at $711, now selling for $302. That is down 58%.
The 9.8 hit heights of $2,000 back in April last year. That's down 60%, more than half, now selling for under a K, $800. However, we know that we're going to see a lot more of America Chavez. She is here to stay. She is part of the Young Avengers, and there is going to be a next generation introduced. They're already being introduced in the MCU. So if you are considering investing in the next gen, now may be a great time, in my opinion.
And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. We try to do these cold list videos at least once a month.
And at the list at number 1, the chillest, the frostiest, The coldest book of the month, we have Rick and Morty #1, the 1 in 50 variant that came out in 2015. This one right here is a variant cover done by Justin Roiland, who does both voices of the lead characters in this hit cartoon. This 1 in 50 is one of the most renowned and sought out after Rick and Morty keys.
So I think the reason why this book is dropping is being a huge fan of Rick and Morty. It's like one of the shows I look forward to watching. It's not what it used to be. And on top of that, you have a million other companies coming out with Rick and Morty ripoff shows. And so people can kind of get their fix from other places. And let's be honest, it's hard to write these shows. And as these shows continue, the writers and creators kind of get burnt out with ideas and they're just not what they used to be. So I think that is the reason why this book has dropped.
This is also a unique moment to highlight FOMO at its peak, because we're going to talk about a 9.8 sale that happened in 2017 of $5,000. And this was when Rick and Morty was just banging in the community. People loved it. It was brand new. You know, people were so hyped about this game-changing show for good reason. However, since then, the book has petered off. It has gone down so much. I think that person who paid $5,000 for that 9.8 is probably regretting it now, unless there is something that happens in the future, option status, movie status, live adaptation, or something alike.
Yes, we got a 9.4 back in 2017 selling for $1,300. Now that sells for $859. That's down 34%. A 9.6 back in 2018 sold for $1,850. Now sells for $998. That is down 46%.
The 9.8, as mentioned, had a height of $5,000 according to GPA back in 2017. I pulled up the numbers. 2018 to 2019 dropped $2,000 to around $3,000. Then in 2020, we saw lows of $1,600. But then the comic boom happened. You would think the comic boom would have pushed the numbers closer to its height, and it didn't. This is kind of an anomaly compared to other toon hits, and it hit a height of $2,750. Well, right now we're reporting a 53% drop since its all-time height of $2,350. Hot damn, that's some cold books. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and as always,
geek responsibly.
Enough said. Comic fam, join myself and all my other homies on the best new place to buy and sell collectibles. Dollar start auctions that last as little as 15 seconds long. We're talking Whatnot, available for both Androids and iPhones. I'm bringing the keys, the giveaways, the Silver Age, the Bronze Age, the variants, the drops, the exclusives, and so much more. Support the show. Link in the description, and take a look at these last two videos. Take a look at the last cold list. See where those books ended up.